I love motorcycles. I ride myself and can appreciate the incredible engineering that goes into these machines. It's always a fun time until you tell someone you ride a motorcycle and they say the typical,
I saw a video on Facebook of a guy's body get split into pieces because he was going 4 times the speed limit without gear on.
So naturally I appreciate motorcycles in GTA Online, but there is one major problem with them. But there are some other issues we need to discuss first. Subscribe to become a follower, and let's dive in. First off, we need to talk about the amount of motorcycles in the game. Right now there are 29 motorcycles available for purchase in GTA Online, and there's even less than that because that includes some motorcycles like the Sanchez that has both a livery and non-livery variant available for sale. If you want to count this abomination of a creation, the Rampant Rocket, then there are 30 available for purchase, but there are 48 motorcycles total in GTA Online. There are 19 not available for purchase, which is just a weird decision to make. When Rockstar removed the vehicles and bikes from the websites, they claimed it was because they were lesser used vehicles or motorcycles, and they wanted to clean up the websites, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Absolutely nobody bought that excuse. That doesn't even seem like a valid excuse, at least for motorcycles, because they literally have their own section on Southern San Andreas Super Autos and Legendary Motorsport. The whole point of the categories on the websites is to clean them up if you want a more condensed view of the vehicles, so you don't have to sort through hundreds to find a specific car or bike, but I digress. This made it to where some motorcycles are incredibly rare because they've only been at Simeon's shop a couple of times, which is usually the only place that occasionally sells motorcycles. When I was looking for the rat bike, basically a rusty version of the Wolfsbane, I had to wait forever for it to come into Simeon's where I could finally purchase it. I just don't get why they would remove motorcycles from the websites when there aren't that many motorcycles to begin with. And what really pisses me off is the fact that some of the motorcycles they kept can be found on the street, like the Batty, the Double T, the Akuma, and the Sanchez. If anything, these bikes should have been removed if that's the excuse they wanted to use, because if you really wanted to, you could find these bikes on the streets with enough time. Every update, they add maybe one motorcycle, and sometimes there are spans of 4 to 3 updates where they don't add any motorcycles to the game. It's unfortunate because it's not like all motorcycles look the same, so there's no point in adding new ones, or there's not enough motorcycles in real life. Some popular models we are missing in GTA Online are the BMW S1000RR, the Yamaha R1, the Harley-Davidson Road Glide, the Gixxer 750 and 1000, the KTM 1390 Duke. I think it would be really cool if they added a Honda RC30, although it is an older model, it's still cool nonetheless. I just named some popular models, none in particular, to show that there are many popular bikes yet to be added. It's not like there's a shortage of new motorcycles in 2025. Matter of fact, there are many options across all brands and type of motorcycles in modern times. I feel like riding motorcycles has become more popular in recent times as well, so I'm sure people would appreciate seeing their bike in GTA because it lets them crash at 150 miles an hour and survive. A big problem to me, and something that also makes no sense, is how street bikes are most of the time always better off-road than actual dirt bikes in the mud or in the gravel, whatever. This is something I even contemplated during my first playthrough of the story as a kid. If you choose the cheap driver for the jewelry heist, Kareem I believe his name is, he acquires baddies for you to escape from the cops on, and we take the sewers where there is mud, and Franklin comments how the bikes aren't really handling the mud that well and Kareem should have gotten scramblers or something. But whenever I heard Franklin say that, I was always like, these bikes are handling the mud just fine, and in fact are faster than the dirt bikes would be on the same track, so these sport bikes are fine. Having a sport bike here actually helps because of that. And in theory, that's how bikes should work in GTA 5, but that isn't how it actually is, unfortunately. This means that you could use a sport bike and go off-road and actually be faster than a dirt bike or scrambler would be, which immediately outclasses them. The only real benefit of the dirt bikes would be that they generally have a bit more traction, but it's so minimal that the speed of the sport bikes make up for it. This is something that has been in GTA Online and GTA 5 for that matter since day one. Rockstar should have made a bigger delta between the performance of a motorcycle off-road based on what type of motorcycle it actually is. If they wanted to, they could change this today. All they would have to do is add off-road tires to every motorcycle, although that wouldn't be the most realistic thing because more goes into the performance of a motorcycle off-road, like the chassis and type of bike overall, but they could still do it. It's even more weird that they probably know how to balance motorcycles in this form because Rockstar does a pretty good job balancing cars in the same scenario. A Zentorno is fast with a lot of torque, but that doesn't mean it's a good off-roader. It has worse ground clearance and is longer than a shorter wheel-based off-roader with the same amount of torque. It's unfortunate that there isn't a good reason to use dirt bikes and the like because sport bikes do the same but better. But that's the way it is and always has been for now. The sound of the motorcycles in GTA 5 Online, even in GTA 4 as well, has always never been good either, unfortunately. They either sound like a vacuum, or they just don't sound quite right. It sucks that over the many years of GTA Online's life, they never updated the motorcycle soundtracks because they could really use it. This might not seem like a big deal, especially to people who don't really ride motorcycles, but I'm gonna make this simple. Listen to this motorcycle on a racetrack in real life. Take a listen to the average soundtrack of a motorcycle in GTA 5 Online. I mean, the difference is just clear night and day. And what really pisses me off once more is that Rockstar probably knows that these sounds aren't great because in scripted cutscenes, they actually use better audio for motorcycles. Exhibit A. In the mission Derailed, where Michael and Trevor rob the Merryweather train, Trevor of course rides on top of the train and then ditches the bike he's on, but in the cutscene, the Sanchez sounds much better than it actually does in the game. Please take a listen. Why can't the Sanchez sound the same in-game as it does in that cutscene? Because that would actually be a realistic sound that I think sounds pretty good. And matter of fact, they could reuse that sound for many other motorcycles. I really don't see a good excuse for this, but it's a problem regardless that I desperately hope is solved for GTA 6 because there are many options for them to explore in terms of sound on motorcycles. Now to get to the biggest problem with motorcycles in GTA 5 Online. HSW was added as part of Expanded and enhanced on March 15th of 2022. HSW cars are insanely fast, really high performance and all that jazz, but the problem is that they also gave the Hakucho Drag HSW, which immediately made it the best motorcycle in the game. The Hakucho Drag does everything every other motorcycle does but better. The handling is actually not the best, but the sheer power, the sheer amount of speed that it possesses, the acceleration makes that an absolutely irrelevant factor. Ever since the Hakucho Drag has been added, I rarely ride other motorcycles because why would I when I could ride the Hakucho Drag and have the fastest bike in the game? Now you may be saying, well Falls, it sounds like this is a classic case of power creep and nothing more, and you would think that that would be the case, but it is far from it. Power creep is when things get progressively better over time. Cars are a great example of that. HSW made cars really fast, but there were fast cars even before HSW came. There were glitches that made cars fast, but cars were also fast naturally. HSW made the Hakucho Drag immediately better than any other bikes in the game. It took it from 0 to 100 real quick. It's like dropping a lion into a cage full of chickens and saying, well, the chickens just succumb to power creep. You can't make something drastically better than everything else because everything else immediately becomes obsolete. Cars are balanced quite well because some cars might have really good handling but are lackluster in terms of speed or acceleration. There are trade-offs to be made with benefits gained, but the Hakucho Drag has no trade-offs. In my opinion, it's even better than the damn Oppressor Mark II, which is a literal flying bike with a jet engine and missiles. I say that because the Hakucho Drag has a Monty Tech and is already really fast. The only way you could reasonably take out someone on a Hakucho Drag with a Monty Tech is with explosive rounds from a jet, and even then you would have to be very precise with your aim. Now you might also be saying, well Falls, nobody says that you have to use the Hakucho Drag as your only motorcycle, but that goes back to what I was saying earlier with balancing motorcycles. The other motorcycles have no pros over the Hakucho Drag, not off-road, not acceleration, some have better handling but the speed makes up for it. There is simply no reason to use any other motorcycle unless you just like how one looks over the other. It's a sad reality, but motorcycles have simply been ruined in my opinion in GTA Online, and hopefully they are far from being bad in GTA 6 because I love motorcycles, I love when they're done well in games, but GTA 5 and GTA 5 Online unfortunately just didn't do them well at all. Bikes are supposed to be cheap alternatives to cars that have cons because if you crash in a bike, you're probably dead, and if you crash in a car, you're not gonna die, you could just keep on going. They're usually cheaper and faster, but in GTA 5 Online, they're usually pretty expensive. I mean, the Shinobi is over $2 million for a motorcycle that really isn't even that good. It gets outclassed by a lot of cars. The Hakucho Drag is expensive with HSW, but it's just completely imbalanced. It's like they cannot have the scale flat across all sections of balance. They either have to make it incredibly good, incredibly fast, all of that maxed out, or it's not that fast, but it's very expensive. And it just makes for bad motorcycles in GTA 5 Online. When the Hakucho Drag came out, it simply just made every other bike terrible. And it's really disappointing to see because I love them. And once again, hopefully they are better in GTA 6. But that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to me rant about motorcycles in GTA 5 Online. I only do this because I love this game, and I really hope that GTA 6 and GTA 6 Online does things better. This is why I make these videos, to get the discussion going across different genres of GTA 5, because I don't want to see motorcycles succumb to this fate in GTA 6 Online, because chances are cars will be pretty good in GTA 6. I think they'll be pretty balanced. I'm not sure about the whole pricing dilemma, but motorcycles are kind of a hard thing to balance. But Rockstar has done it with cars. Why can't they do them with motorcycles? And thank you to my channel members, which for the month of August are as follows. Thank you to Byron, thank you to Anawack, KOIAER, Karso, DuelingDiego, Nekoshi, Agaro, PAARTHUR, Agent, and Joshua. I greatly appreciate my channel members. I appreciate you all. Please have a great day or night or evening. I'll see you all later. And goodbye. Hey, look, hey, look. You better subscribe, because if you do not, I might cry. You better subscribe, I ran up the bands in GTA 5. You better subscribe, because if you do not, you might cry. You better subscribe, because if you don't, I might die. You better subscribe, I'm about to go crazy on the beat. You better subscribe, hey, wait for the beat to drop. Ooh, you better subscribe, hey, you better subscribe, I'm out of breath. You better subscribe,